Hi, I'm Jason Stein, publisher of Automotive News. We can all agree that information is the most valuable resource in our ever-changing, ever-dynamic, and ever-resilient automotive world. Content, as the saying goes, is always king.
At Automotive News, we are deeply committed to keeping you informed. Our connected, experienced, and global team of more than 50 reporters and editors work around the clock in all mediums to deliver accurate and thorough reporting and analysis.
The result? Our team produces more than 100 original articles every week with coverage of the industry that's deep, timely, and critical to operating your business.
We cover automakers and suppliers around the world with features including exclusive executive interviews and insights into future product plans.
We cover every corner of automotive retail, including finance and insurance, mergers and acquisitions, retail technology, and dealership best practices.
And we cover what's next in transportation, whether it's autonomous cars, ride-hailing services, or alternative business models.
Plus, our research and data center provides insights, data, and lists to help inform decision makers across the industry.
Short on time? We can help. Tune into our daily newscasts, First Shift and Auto News Now. We'll get you caught up on the day's top stories in a matter of minutes.
Automotive news events bring together the industry's top leaders for exclusive discussions and critical conversations that offer insights and strategies designed to help inform your business.
So that's our story, and it's a good one. Whether in print, on our website, at our events, on our videos, or in our podcasts, Automotive News is a resource you can depend on to navigate uncertain times. Thank you for the support, thank you for the trust, and thank you for being with us.
Thank you.
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 Good morning, everybody. Welcome to this panel on sustainability trends in automotive and the strategies for a path forward. My name is Britta Gross, and it's a pleasure to be here again with the stellar panel that includes 3 of the Enlighten Award winners from this morning and their efforts in sustainability. Let's get right into it. Leaders, regulators, and investors believe that the future of automotive companies depends on their ability to drive environmentally sustainable vehicles into the market. We're talking, of course, about hydrogen vehicles, battery electric vehicles, but also the way we sustainably design these vehicles and the supply chain that will innovate and support the automakers and their vehicles. Our analysis at RMI, Rocky Mountain Institute, suggests that 1 in 4 light-duty electric vehicles need to be electric by 2030 to be on a pathway to contain temperature rise to 1.5 degrees C. 1.5 degrees C is what corresponds to a 50% reduction in carbon emissions by 2030, only 8.5 years from today. So if we want to be on that path, we're talking about 1 in 4 vehicles being electric here in just the next 8.5 years. This is in addition to the greening of the grid, reductions in vehicle miles traveled, and all the other things we have to do to get the emissions down 50%. At the same time, we need to consider and look at the way we design the vehicles to ensure that there are no unintended consequences of going all electric, right? There's a lot of conversations about batteries and energy and production and et cetera. We need to be looking at what it takes to go all electric, and in fact, understanding that we can leverage these new technologies as global market opportunities. We got to flip this equation around. It's not just a challenge, it's an opportunity in the marketplace. I often refer to EVs as the biggest, smartest, most flexible load on the grid since and including the complete electrification of our kitchens and appliances in the 50s and the advent of air conditioning in the 60s and 70s. This is the load that's bigger, broader, more impactful than anything we've seen before. So I would just say, and try to echo some things that Swami Kotagiri at Magna just said here in the last panel. We've never been good at standing still. And there's really no more exciting time to be exactly where we're sitting today, sort of in this juncture between transportation and the electric grid and what's happening globally. I think it's a fascinating place to be right now. I'm joined today by this wonderful panel to talk about some of these key issues in sustainability. We're talking about the innovations and the opportunities in this area of sustainability. So what I'd like to do is introduce each one of these speakers and give them just a few minutes to introduce themselves and introduce what they've been working on, get some of their thoughts on the topic of sustainability, trends in automotive, before we dive into questions, my questions, and also the audience questions. So please feel free to send up your questions to me, and I'll try to keep an eye on this iPad here to make sure that I can see what you're interested in. But let's just dig right into this. Maybe I could start by introducing some of the speakers. I'd like to introduce first, to my left, Dr. Matthew Parkinson, who's the Senior Manager at BASF Performance Materials, where he leads the application development of engineering and composite technologies departments. Matt's also the North America Technical Development Lead for the transportation market. Matt's teams are responsible for supporting customers from a technical perspective with their engineering plastic and polyurethane product development, where they develop high-performance materials for the North American market with sustainability in focus. For example, the team that Matt leads develops thermosets with resin that's been sourced from sustainably harvested castor beans in combination with various other natural recycled fibers and recycled thermoplastics. Prior to joining BASF, Matt held various product design engineering positions at Toyota, Honda, and Chrysler. Matt has a doctorate in material science and engineering from Rutgers and automotive engineering and mechanical engineering degrees from the University of Michigan and Michigan Tech. Matt, please. Yeah, if you want to.
All right, thank you. It's great to be here today. So I'm Matt Parkinson. I'm from BASF. I manage our application development team along with our composite technology team, where we work closely with customers innovating new technology solutions. So at BASF, our global purpose, and it's been for quite some time, is we create chemistry for a sustainable future. So how does BASF define sustainability? So we do it through these three pillars here: economic growth, environmental protection, and social responsibilities. And today I want to talk about the environmental protection side. So this here is a chart from the US Environmental Protection Agency from a few years ago, showing the life cycle assessment of a typical vehicle. And with that, the use or the driving mileage is a main contributor to part of these calculations. This here is a publication from 2018 where they compared a carbon fiber body in white with a steel body in white. And even though the carbon fiber takes more energy to produce the actual material than steel, there becomes a break-even point, and here in this study it was 125,000 miles, or actually kilometers, where there was a break-even point where the carbon fiber actually becomes more favorable. And then at BASF, these are the type of solutions we're developing for our customers here. So through our spray transfer molding technology, we are taking what would have been a thermoset, not very sustainable product in the past, and we're trying to continue those thermosets, but do it in a sustainable way. And we do that by combining the castor oil within our polyurethane and combining it with natural fibers. So what we've done is a lot of studies in terms of these natural fibers and the excellent mechanical properties that they do offer. But you can see here, with this process, you don't have to compromise design freedom for the sake of sustainability. What you see here is a very complex part, carpet, attachment features, everything done in one-step process. And so it's a very efficient process and very flexible for your use. And in the Detroit area in Wyandotte, Michigan, we have a composites lab where we have this equipment where we can innovate with customers. So we invite customers in, they do their prototype tooling here, and we work to develop these solutions together. So part of this activity where we're trying to make the thermoset more sustainable, we are looking at carbon footprints. And you can see here from the graph on the far left is your traditional thermoset glass fiber-based material. And then closer to the right, we have our bio-based bamboo. And what we found is we have some excellent properties with the bamboo. And that also reduces your carbon footprint. And then you can see, with carbon fiber, it does take more to produce the carbon fiber, but you saw from the last graph that with the mileage driven, you can actually see a benefit from that. So these are a couple of examples here. I just want to conclude on a couple of metal to composite conversions that we've done with our customers. So the first one you see here is the 2021 Toyota Sienna third row seat back, where we've taken a 15 welded steel component, a lot of processing involved here to produce that steel component, and we've done it in a one shoot and ship plastic component. So this is all molded, one-step molding process, large mass savings, big cost savings, and it also was last year's Altair Enlightened Award for lightweighting. And then the one on the bottom here, this is a die-cast differential bracket. So die-cast aluminum would have been used on the Jeep. It's now plastic, plastic composite. This won a Society of Plastic Innovation Award. Big mass savings, so 30%, but I want to highlight here, these are all cost savings. And then today, this morning, we just won, again, the Altair Enlightened Award on the Stellantis LNL mounting bracket, which again, cost savings and mass savings. So the main point I'm trying to bring across here is it doesn't matter how complex the component might be on the vehicle, how long it's been done in steel or die-cast aluminum or extruded aluminum. Every component on the vehicle, every component has the potential to be a plastic composite, to reduce mass, to have a benefit of a mass savings, and then contribute back to that carbon footprint analysis to reduce and be more environmentally friendly. So with that, thank you very much.
Thank you. Thanks, Matt. Let me go ahead and introduce our next panelist. Donna Dickson is with Ford Motor Company, where she, since April, has been the chief engineer of the Mustang Mach-E. A lot of you have probably heard of that vehicle. She's responsible for total global product delivery and ensuring the voice of the customer is heard throughout the product development cycle. The Mustang Mach-E is on the cutting edge of Ford's new electric product strategy, and I'm sure Donna has some exciting details she's going to share today with us. Over the past 28 years with Ford, Donna's also held other various exciting positions, including spending half her career on the F-Series, from launching Super Duty to the creation of the all-aluminum F-150. Donna also spent 2 years leading the Mustang program vehicle team at the Flat Rock Assembly Plant. Donna is a mechanical engineer from Laurence Technological University and a Master of Science in Engineering Management from Wayne State University. Donna, take it away.
Well, thank you. It's great to be here. So I'm Donna Dickson. I'm the Chief Program Engineer of the Mustang Mach-E. So I thought I'd just give a little bit of what Ford is doing with sustainability, and then we'll go through, how we applied that to the vehicle. So sustainability has been a priority for Ford for years. Our business model pretty much hasn't changed over the last couple of years. We want to be the most trusted company. We want to drive human progress. We want to make positive contribution to society. Product development plays a big role in that by delivering a portfolio of products and services that supports Ford's sustainability goals. Through prioritizing leadership actions, we continue to maintain commitment to improve vehicle safety, reduce fuel economy consumption and CO2 emissions, with a goal of carbon neutrality by 2050. We increase usage of sustainable materials and products by also amplifying the economic impact of sourcing minority companies. We remain committed to proactively engaging with key stakeholders and strategic partners to make sure that we hit these goals. Now a little bit about the Mach-E. So using sustainable and synthetic materials on the Mach-E interior is just as environmental friendly as its electronic powertrain. Like the batteries and electronic motors, it's far more difficult to work on some of the materials that people can see, sense, touch. We need to make sure that we use materials that's pleasing to the customer. As the first vehicle from Ford to rely on animal-free and recycled fabrics, the challenge to get everything right was twofold. This vehicle also bears the name Mustang. The team managed to curate and pair the materials and were able to maintain all important premium feel and appearance. This vehicle has come out competing price range with premium vehicles, right? So we've kind of set the mark with this vehicle. One example I wanted to share was the Mach-E's fabric-wrapped B&O speakers. You can see it goes across the center of the vehicle. It's in the small picture in the center. If it wasn't for the anodized aluminum badge, you might not think it was a sound system. Most would think that it's just a large, fabric applique that goes across. But we worked with B&O and their textile and to actually work it in and make the speaker out of it. It took a lot of resources. This fabric is sourced from 25% recycled materials. It did require a lot of time to get it right because not only did it have to look right, touch, be right, but it had to give that sound that was expected in a B&O audio. As far as the Mustang Mach-E, I did want to mention that it did receive the Altair Award for sustainability, overall product sustainability. And I gave you just a couple of the items of where we were at in the development, but making it the EV, being the first Ford all-electric SUV named, Mustang, putting sustainability as the foundation to build from, and you get a great product as well. So it's our first ground up. It's a SUV. It's on a rear-wheel drive platform. It provides all-wheel drive capability. Standard and extended range batteries. It gets up to 300 miles per hour, right? Or I'm sorry, miles of range. Sorry. Woo! And it's developed with what we expect in a Mustang as far as drive attributes. It's a very open, clean, uncluttered interior, and you can see we actually went over and above on that center stack. We were just looking at maybe a 12-inch size on the screen. We actually pushed the boundaries. This vehicle pushes the boundaries on every aspect, and we went to 15 inches on that screen. But I think that was key in this development. It was a small group of innovators that had a vision of what this vehicle wanted to be. They drove it, they pushed the boundaries to deliver it. And we couldn't deliver a Mustang SUV without providing Ford's first ground-up electric performance SUV. Just shows you can plan and deliver sustainability and deliver great results we jointly accomplished with our supplier partners. This vehicle is just going to be hitting the dealers. It shows you 459 foot-pounds or horsepower, 612 foot-pounds of torque with a 0 to 60 miles per hour in the mid-threes. It's just truly phenomenal. With that, there was no attributes missed. I wanted to share what this vehicle takes. hope you enjoy it. I hope you also get a chance to drive one. It doesn't, it is an unbelievable driving experience. So thank you.
Thank you, Donna. Yeah. Thank you, Donna. I'm just totally excited about this vehicle, what it means to a previous conversation we heard on from the previous speaker, and that is simply, it matters what consumers think about these vehicles. And so this is exactly what the market needs right now, is to explain to consumers that electric vehicles really aren't the golf carts. It's really this kind of a vehicle. This is what you can do. All right, thank you, Donna, again. Next speaker, Tony Povinelli, is another one of our Enlighten Award winners today. Tony's with Magna Exteriors, where since 2015, he has been the Global Product Line Director of Active Aerodynamics and Trim Products. Tony's been in the auto industry for almost 30 years, and prior to Magna Exteriors and his efforts to lead work on front-end modules and active aerodynamic systems, he was with Denso, developing engine cooling modules. Tony has a degree in mechanical engineering from the State University of New York at Buffalo. Please, Tony, all yours.
Thank you, Britta, and good morning, everyone. My name, again, is Tony Povinelli. I'm the Global Product Line Director for Active Aerodynamics and Trim. As many of you know, we are a global company at Magna with $32.6 billion in sales in 2020 and 158,000 hardworking employees. We have 347 manufacturing sites to provide products globally for our customers. And we are the largest automotive supplier in North America and ranked 3rd globally. Magna is a mobility technology company leading in areas of future mobility, electrification, and autonomy. We are the only automotive supplier in the world with expertise in the whole vehicle, from electronics to body to powertrain to complete vehicle manufacturing. I am here today representing Active Aerodynamic product line for Magna Exteriors. Recognized globally as an innovator in all aspects of vehicle exteriors, Magna provides everything needed from materials development and design through manufacturing and assembly to help our customers create bold, state-of-the-art vehicles around the world. Our portfolio of products includes liftgates, door modules, fascia and trim, front-end modules, running boards, sealing, engineered glass, and most important in my mind, active aerodynamic systems. The ongoing demand for vehicles that operate more efficiently is accelerating the need for weight reduction and aerodynamic improvement. We deliver an expanded Active Aero suite of products, as seen here, and are cultivating lightweight solutions to support our customers' sustainability objectives. I'd like to share with you a video that demonstrates how my group dynamically tests our products in an aerodynamic wind tunnel to ensure we deliver solutions that provide the greatest impact.
Active Aerodynamics is changing the shape of the vehicle to improve its efficiency. We do that at Magna Exteriors by focusing on making vehicles go faster and further for less. What that means for our customers is that we focus on reducing CO2 emissions, improving fuel economy, and for electric vehicles, that means extending the range of the vehicle. Magna is committed to fully developing our products, and that involves coming to facilities like this and performing wind tunnel tests. Today at the wind tunnel, we're here measuring the coefficient of drag of a vehicle. And the best way to describe that is if you stick your hand out the window while you're driving down the road and you turn it from flat to sideways, that force that's pulling your hand back is essentially the same measurement that we're making here, just much more precise.
The parts we're testing here today are designed specifically for wind tunnel development. This allows us to monitor their effectiveness live and can determine the optimal shape more quickly. It also means that we can test multiple complex configurations.
All vehicles benefit from aerodynamic efficiency, and Magna is working on a full product portfolio for all vehicle types: cars, trucks, heavy trucks, and SUVs.
I'm really proud to be part of creating a product that ultimately leads to our sustainability goals. We were the winner for the sustainable product this year. It was on the active air deflector on the Stellantis Ram 1500. We're really proud of that. Magna embraces its commitment to sustainability to ensure a better place for current and future generations. And it is our objective to be carbon neutral by 2025 in Europe and 2030 globally. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, Tony. Thank you. So obviously what we're seeing here today is sustainability is not just about an electric vehicle. It's about the materials that are going into these vehicles. It's active aerodynamics. It's a lot of different features, and that's what we're trying to really get at here today. Let me go to our next speaker here. Katie Roco is the Customer Engineering Director at Faurecia Interiors North America, where she's responsible for managing product innovation, product design, and product development for all customer programs. She's been with Faurecia since 2005, has served in various roles, including as a build coordination engineer, product engineer, and a design and development manager. Prior to Faurecia, Katie spent time at Daimler Chrysler. Katie's also on the board of Women in Manufacturing and an active participant with Inforum, a professional Michigan organization to accelerate careers for women and boost talent initiatives for companies. Katie is a mechanical engineer, another mechanical engineer up here, from Michigan State and an MBA from Oakland University. Katie, please.
Thanks, everybody. Good morning. Thank you, Britta. Yes, I'm Katie Roco. I'm here on behalf of Faurecia Interior Systems, and I would like to tell you a little bit about Faurecia in general before we start into some of our sustainability initiatives. Okay, so Faurecia is a top 10 global automotive supplier. Our headquarters are in Paris, or just outside Paris, in a city called Nanterre. And we have 4 business groups right now that we're using to develop automotive solutions. We have clean mobility, seating, interiors, and Faurecia Clarion Electronics. We have a very lofty ambition to be carbon neutral by 2030. And we aim to achieve this across three streams: operations, eco-design, and our value chain. So in order to do that, we now have a new business group that's going to focus on sustainable materials. And this business group will support all of the other 4 business groups that we have in allowing us to develop product that really gives our customers what they want in sustainable mobility. One of the key things that we're here to talk about today is our naphthalene product line. We did win the Enlighten Sustainable Process Award this morning for naphthalene stiff, which is an alternate to a glass-filled polypropylene. It's the 4th generation of the naphthalene family, or not generation, but product in the naphthalene family, which is quite an interesting product that we've brought to market here. So I'd like to show a video because I think the video will give you a better understanding than just my words up here. So high level, right, our naphthalene product line, it brings biomaterial, it's 100% recyclable. We're aiming to be carbon negative with the new recycled version that we expect to release next year, and a lightweight, sustainable solution to the market.
Thank you. Yeah, you can leave that there. Thank you. Thank you, Katie. Totally fascinating film, wasn't it, on how you take a plant and actually turn it into a part for a vehicle. So I appreciate actually that you showed it to someone like me here. Appreciate that. All right, we have one more surprise panelist. She's with us virtually, I believe from France. I'm not sure, I hope she's on right now. Laurence Montanari. I'm going to introduce.
Hello, everyone.
There you go. Oh, there you are up there on the big screen. Very good. Let me introduce you here, if you don't mind. Laurence is joining us, I believe, virtually from maybe a home, maybe an office in France. Laurence is the vice. Oh, okay. Laurence is the Vice President of Transportation and Mobility Industry at Dassault Systems. She has 30 years of automotive engineering and business experience that includes a previous career at Renault, where she began as a mechanical engineer. Yet another mechanical engineer here up on stage today. At Renault, she rose to Senior Innovation Manager of its in-house innovation laboratory, leading experimental projects to address emerging trends and develop disruptive mobility solutions for urban areas. This project, for example, one of these later projects at Renault included involving stakeholders from engineering, design, and product marketing to facilitate open innovation and collaboration around a vehicle's digital model, realistic rendering images, urban delivery web monitoring, and virtual visualization. Laurence has a mechanical engineering degree in robotics from the École Centrale of Nantes in France. Laurence, if you don't mind, a few words maybe.
Yes, thank you. It's very a pleasure to be present at this panel. So I'm the VP of Transportation and Mobility Industry. Yes. So just a few words on Dassault System, just as an introduction. So value is in the usage rather than in the product. And we think at Dassault System that virtual worlds extend and improve the real world. So I will share with you how Dassault System is using its solution in sustainability with a short video. Can you see the video? No?
The automotive industry players are on a mission to deliver sustainable mobility that meets the increasing demand from regulators and consumers. To get on track, they need to break silos in a highly complex ecosystem of organizations from different horizons and unite everyone in a single environment. This can be achieved through an integrated platform with the virtual twin that optimizes automotive development, manufacturing, and logistics for attractive mobility experiences with zero emissions, more recyclable materials, and low end-to-end lifecycle footprint. Accelerate a more sustainable future for mobility now on the 3D Experience platform.
So, today the situation is that the sustainability is led by rules and regulation. So, and it's important to share with you the European view with the CAFE target and result. On this chart on the left, you can see the target of all car makers, the CO2 gram per kilometers target on private cars, and the 2020 results. And what is important to say that its car makers want to reach their CO2 gram per kilometers target limit in order to avoid penalties. And it's works, a majority of them are delivering clean mobility today. So the movement is ongoing. A lot of press releases from car makers are announcing new EV models and the end of production of their gasoline and diesel models. So the BEV market share is expecting to grow from 6% to 30% by 2030. So industry is organizing production and recycling. So do you know that in Europe, to be compliant with regulations, 95% of the vehicle has to be recyclable. And in the reality, 85% of the vehicle is recycled. So for the battery, it's the same. You can see the battery production increase in a double digit. And in parallel, car makers and their suppliers are organizing batteries recycling. So the recycling market is expecting to grow from $1.31 billion to $11 billion by 2027. So there are already a lot of projects on battery recycling. For example, a second life of batteries on boats, or a lot of projects with innovative processes. So that is the proof that all these industry, OEMs and suppliers are preparing this transition from ICE to EV, and we need to accelerate because it takes time to move to the sustainable mobility. So, for example, here you have the hydrogen situation. So it takes time to synchronize regulations with vehicles, with infrastructure, evolution with cities and territories regulation, with new services and apps, and it's also takes time to synchronize that with the end consumer needs. So life cycles are so different. Here on hydrogen, you can see that it takes around 2 years to see investment in research. It takes around more than 5 years to develop this new technology for mass production. It takes roughly 8 years to build hydrogen plants in industrial way, and on top of that, it takes more than 4 years to start awareness of end consumer, and more than 10 years to see the transition. So at the same time, it takes only 6 months to do a new services or to implement a new services or new apps. So concretely, it takes more than 25 years to introduce a new energy in the transportation industry, including vehicles, infrastructures, and regulations. So we have no time to wait. So we need to combine and to coordinate private interest with public authorities' interest. So we are citizens, we are end consumers, so we need to bring pressure. We could bring pressure to force this change. So I'm sure that we don't have time. So we don't have to wait due to the global warming. So how to accelerate? Dassault Systèmes is providing solutions to design, model, simulate products. So many of you know us as a CAD or PLM provider. CATIA, SolidWorks, Simulia for simulation are well known in the automotive industry. So Dassault Systèmes' goals is to provide solutions capable of harmonizing product, nature, and life. So we are involved in significant projects on vehicle development, on new types of vehicles, autonomous driving certification or validation, cities development, infrastructure, and connectivity. We are able to connect multi-physics simulation of a new type of vehicle with the simulation of a 5G in a city, and eventually design the experience of the end consumer. So the 3D Experience platform is a collaborative platform to connect the dots between OEMs, suppliers, cities, mobility operators. They can collaborate and connect all mobility partners to create, simulate, validate, and continuously improve environmental footprint of a mobility system. So mobility is undergoing one of the most transformation shifts of our generation, with an implication for our way of life. So we need to accelerate innovative and complex projects involving public and private interest.
Thank you, Laurence. Are you set? Is that it? Thank you. Thank you very much for all your comments. Thank you. You know, and Laurence, thank you again for providing that perspective about what's happening in France Oh, and Europe, actually, broadly speaking, and how important it is to understand that the freight train's moving and we're either on that global freight train or we're kind of not. And so I want to get some questions about sort of what is forming your thinking at the companies relative to sustainability in your products, because that train is moving. And then also I want to get to the cost issue, right? Because a lot of folks, I'm getting questions coming in here about costs and the preparedness of suppliers and stuff, so we will get to those questions as well. But maybe let me just start off with a bigger, broader question. When you guys think about sustainability, we've heard some great examples today about how you've approached it and what you're winning awards for, actually. Are your companies more concerned about sustainability? Are you focused on sustainability at the component level? Is it sort of the bigger vehicle level? Or are you really approaching it also from a design level or a manufacturing approach? What are your thoughts on some of this? Maybe I'll just start here with Matt.
Thank you. Can you hear me okay? Okay, it's working. Thank you. Well, at BASF, we're primarily focused on supporting our customers through their component development. So, we look at what they're doing today and we try to offer solutions for sustainability, whether that's converting a metal to a composite or natural fiber of some sort. But we are focused on the component level primarily.
Okay, very good. Donna, how are you guys looking at it?
Yeah, we're looking at it, across everything that we do, right? So it's key that we get it in our components. We're looking at, making the best vehicle as well, but just making the best vehicle for the customer and how they use it so they can work efficiently. So, we're just trying to modernize the vehicle and as well the experience that the customer has. And we look at sustainability to just, how do we do things differently, disrupt ourselves, because it is different than how we've done it in the past. So we're looking at every aspect of how we run our business to drive it into each part of the business.
And did I hear you say to me yesterday, did I hear you say that the Mach-E is the first Ford vehicle interior to be 100% vegan?
That's correct. Yep.
Just list off again what makes that a vegan interior. What are you using in that?
No. So we have different suede synthetic material, and that it was different when I said, right? It's different development. You think of a steering wheel, you want that touch, right? That certain touch on the steering wheel. Leather's been there, right? That's what that premium customer has wanted. And, we had to go through different development phases, but we took it serious. We've heard it on other vehicles. I came from Lincoln, and, the customers wanted that, right? So, like I said, from the Mach-E, that was going in, this is what we're going to deliver, right? And it was easy to deliver sometime on seats, but now to do it across the vehicle. Again, you have to say this is what the vision is going to be and go deliver it.
Katie, in fact, a lot of you mentioned your net zero and carbon neutral goals here going forward. I'm not sure if everyone, maybe all of you did. But Katie, you've made a commitment also to CO2 neutrality by 2030. Can you tell us how your product strategy in North America supports that?
Yeah, well, so we have three basic principles that we're working on when we're doing our innovation. Use less, use better, use longer, right? So that's kind of at the basis of all of our innovation that we're doing across all of our business groups. And at Faurecia, we feel that we're able to bring sustainable system solutions to our customers, right? Where we can take cockpit of the future stuff, so instrument panels, door trim, console, seating, electronics, and bring all that together as a system solution for our customers.
Thank you. Tony, don't want to leave you out of this. You talked a lot about aerodynamics and active aerodynamics. Can you maybe even discuss for everyone, how does the aerodynamics of an electric car differ from how you look at maybe applying aerodynamic tools and skills over there to the internal combustion engine type of vehicle?
Yeah, that's a great question, because active aerodynamics really benefits all vehicle types, regardless of propulsion. I've gotten a lot of comments in the past of people that have said, oh, it's an electric vehicle, you don't need active aerodynamics. But active aerodynamics, or aerodynamics in general, is actually a much larger contributor to energy consumption on an electric vehicle. And by employing reduced drag, letting the vehicle slip through the air easier, it essentially allows you to extend the range of the vehicle, and that means less electricity usage over the life of the vehicle.
But how do you, and so maybe just a follow-on question to that, how do you allow automakers to still keep that brand look? I mean, I think about the Mach-E too. How do you, what's the process of thinking through, I want the vehicle to be aerodynamic, but you can't, obliterate what automakers are trying to do with the styling of that vehicle?
Yeah, there's a great balance there for sure. Vehicle aerodynamics over the last few decades has come leaps and bounds, where they've done a phenomenal job, the Mach-E being one of a balance of beauty and basic aerodynamic efficiency. But, all vehicles aren't conducive to great aerodynamics, right? Based on size, shape, even requirements like approach angle and ground clearances, things you have to keep clear of maybe static systems. And active aerodynamics lets you transform the vehicle while it's going down the road at speeds, say above 40 miles per hour. So when it's really important, when that drag becomes very important to the vehicle. And that is triggered by the vehicle itself. There's triggers like speed and all that deploy and retract those systems. And as Magna and a product producer, we can make that product in every aspect of the product, from the actuator all the way up to that Class A panel, to help our customers meet that DNA that they want from their vehicle, but yet help them meet their efficiency and sustainability goals.
Cool. Very good. Thank you. Laurence, you mentioned, and I think I even mentioned it in your introduction, that the transportation of goods is also really important here. So we spent a lot of time talking about passenger vehicles here and private vehicles, but you developed a vehicle that was focused on last mile delivery. Can you tell us what was innovative about the vehicle or even its ecosystem that made it stand out, and what was your experience dealing with this important use case?
Yes, on last mile delivery, the problem is the huge increase of packages to deliver in cities. We know that everywhere over the world. So, every city wants light commercial vehicle with specific dimensions adapted to its specificity. So we know that the automotive industry needs massive production to be profitable. So that's why it's so difficult to answer to all the requests from the cities. So during the project, I had the chance to manage. We decided to test an experimental vehicle, to test it in real life, but we involved the complete ecosystem. Logistic companies, small players, small players, startups, big players. We also involve drivers, suppliers, in order to collaborate together and with the cities to imagine what is the best solution for the future. And we decided to test it in real life and to build a small series of vehicles. And from design to approval, we involve territories, suppliers, and customers, the complete ecosystem. And it was so different to work, to imagine this car with the players of the ecosystem. So it's a LCV, full EV, compact, adapted for urban area, a small one, 3 cubic meters, but the rear part is modular. So with different sizes of boxes. So logistic company can gain between 30 minutes to 1 hour for one delivery. So the project was interesting because we involve the complete ecosystem with different type of company, and everyone could collaborate differently with a big degree of freedom. So we use the 3D Experience platform on cloud to develop this car, and it supported this agile approach early in the project from the design and help us to define the user experience and to define the car and to shorten the development.
Thank you. Thank you. Katie, can I bring you into something? In fact, let me just follow a thought up on what Laurence was just saying, in case a lot of you don't know. I mean, if you think about this light commercial space where vehicles travel, less than 50 miles a day, They are, the tripling. Laurence talked about the significant growth last year in home package delivery. I think there was a tripling across the space here in North America, just getting packages to our homes when we couldn't really travel. So, I mean, this market is really ripe. So if you look at Amazon's announcements, UPS, FedEx, et cetera, huge motivation and interest in actually transitioning to electric. So I think that that's really important to keep track of that trend and what we're seeing there. Katie, over to you. What trends, and this is sort of, I'm getting now into some of the questions that are coming in from the audience too. What trends are you seeing in sustainability with customers? What are customers asking for?
They're looking for eco-friendly, lightweight mobility solutions, right? And I think, as we've talked about today, we're all working together to try to find those solutions for the customer. Something that Swami mentioned this morning was it's really important that we partner with our suppliers, that we partner with our customers, that we're talking with each other, and really bringing these solutions to the market. For instance, the naphthalene family that we've been talking about, it's been on the market since 2013. It started with just naphthalene, and it's developed the product line now that we have 4 products, and we have 2 more coming, and that's because of the needs of the customer, right? The customer wants to be able to have these sustainable solutions throughout all of their applications. And it's just really important that we keep getting wins in our development and we keep moving forward with, the new innovations that help to benefit our future.
Thank you. In the time that remains, because we're actually getting close here to the end, we have to touch on cost, because that's always is what the issue comes down to, is like, yeah, but can you afford all this stuff? But I'm hearing a lot of you talk about how it's actually affordable. So could you, touch on this perception that sustainable solutions come with a cost? And can some of you even think about, one of the audience questions here, what about just the development of these new materials and the testing that has to go into it? Is this different than what we would have put into investment in some of these solutions on internal combustion engine vehicles over the years or not? So just thoughts about the
so for us, all of our products are tested and developed to all the OEM stringent standards, right? And we, like I said, we partner with them to make sure we are delivering products that will meet their requirements. And as far as cost, so maybe the product might be a little costlier, like per kilogram or something, but we're targeting lightweight solutions, right? So we're planning to use less, we're using better, and we're using longer. So that will offset maybe the cost per kilo impact. So what we're really delivering is cost neutral products to our consumers.
Which means less battery required to move a vehicle if we can take weight off of other parts of the vehicle, maybe not even related to the battery.
Right.
Interesting. Donna, how about you? Can you comment on the economics?
Yeah, so just a couple. For where we have used it, we've used recycled materials in door trims, headliners, headlamps, and tail lamps. It's pretty much cost neutral, right? Now, did we see some in specific areas? I would tell you that'd be a no speaker, right? I mean, but we chose that. We wanted a certain look, and we wanted to use that material. As far as the development, to me, yeah, it might change and it might cost you some upfront, but that's going to become your norm. So as you use and reuse, you're going to get the benefit from it. So I do think that there are some with testing that why you modernize, we'll see some changes in testing that we have to do. I just see it from the electric vehicle. But again, we have to continue to be partners with our suppliers, use more, and get the scalability on it. And the cost the way you manufacture it, the cost shouldn't be a question.
Matt, any thoughts from you too on cost savings? You talked specifically about cost savings and mass savings.
Yeah. So cost savings, I think scale up. That's a big one. When you look at new sustainable solutions from BASF, it's about scale up. So we have our chem cycling where we are taking plastic waste and turning that into sustainable plastics, not mechanical recycling, but chemical recycling. And that it's about scaling that process up to get it cost neutral with traditional materials, and then natural fibers too. It's getting the scale up is really key to getting costs down on some of the new solutions.
Thank you. All right, 2 minutes left. We're just gonna have to do a couple lightning round questions here. So you just have to just one answer and we'll move on. Let's see if we can squeeze these in here in 2 minutes. First question, what's the low hanging fruit? What should everyone in here be thinking about doing? Because it's easy enough to do, competitive, cost competitive, et cetera. I'll just start here, Matt.
I think it's lightweighting, converting some of the metals to plastic composites, saving mass and cost at the same time, reducing that vehicle weight, getting better LCA assessments from that.
Thank you. Amory Levins at Rocky Mountain Institute, the place where I work right now, who founded the company, would be thrilled to hear that answer. I know many of you know him, and he's been on that wicket for 40 years. Donna?
Yeah.
Low-hanging fruit.
I would say lightweighting is good. Recyclable, use of recyclables. I think we need, and I think we heard it earlier in it, the reuse.
And
right?
reuse.
We're gonna need in these EVs, right? How do we reuse these batteries, right? So I think that's one that we need to really be focused in on going forward.
Fantastic. Tony?
I bet you can guess my answer, but it's active. Really, though, I mean, aerodynamics is a huge element in emissions reduction. Obviously, lightweighting is a big part of that as well. And I think a big focus on both of those when you're creating these products is design optimization. Design optimization is what allows you to make, use the least amount of material, the lightest material, and the right material to get the product to do what it needs to do to meet its functional objectives. And that's really one of the key goals in any product you make, as well as using the sustainable materials.
Thank you. Katie, low-hanging fruit.
All three of those together, right? Design optimization, using the recycled materials, and then making them lightweight. So all three of them together, it should be a no-brainer.
Thank you. Laurence, you get the last word on this one. Low-hanging fruit.
Yes, I propose to put on top of that the system engineering approach in order to coordinate from requirements to reality, all those actions, lightweight, simulation, and all those actions.
Perfect. Thank you so much. Yeah, we could probably do a little mix and match testing to see which adjective or noun here went with which speaker. That was perfect. Thank you, guys. That was just a perfect answer to that question. We're actually out of time here, so I want to thank the panelists. Laurence in France, thank you so much for participating today. Thank you, audience, for actually sending up the questions I tried to weave into what I was asking. So thank you all very much today.